Alright, the Lagos team and family. Looks like I had some technical difficulties and did a Facebook Live call on a different session. So I'm going to wait about a minute or less than a minute before I get started so I can give a chance to parents get on. All right, thank you everybody for being patient with my technical difficulties earlier. Thank you, Lagos college prep parents, for joining me today. I want to highlight some of the information that Mr. Chipra sent out earlier in his operations update. So I'm not going to repeat the information. So please review his Facebook Live call so that way you can get a little bit more information about the start, the technology, and new things happening on campus. So that way you can be fully informed. What today I'm going to talk about a little bit about is our first day of school, our virtual welcome to IDEA, and our virtual culture camp. In those two sessions are for our new families. Talk a little bit about the online experience for our college prep students, and virtual meet the teacher to give you a little bit more information about that. So I'm really excited about our updates for this school year. I'm really excited to get a new school year started, and it's coming up very soon. So our teachers and our staff members are working very hard to get everything ready so we can have a successful start this year online. So the first thing that I wanted to mention in highlighting some of our new families is that we will be scheduling virtual welcome to ideas for our new families again starting next week. So these meetings will give parents the opportunity to meet a few members of the Tres Lagos team, as well as provide parents with an overview of the campus and what they can expect. So I will be hosting English sessions, and Jennifer Otto, our academic counselor, will be hosting Spanish sessions. So you should be receiving the phone call over the next couple of days, so that way we can schedule a meeting with any new families that haven't already attended our virtual welcome to IDEA. So the next thing that I wanted to do was talk about, because some of our new families are already watching on Facebook Live, our students are going to have a virtual culture camp, which is mandatory for all of our new students in 6th through 9th grade. So this is going to take place on July 31st from 9 to 4 p.m. With an hour lunch break. So members of our team are going to be reaching out just to check on your technology needs for this meeting, because we want to make sure that all of our students that are new are going to be able to attend this virtual culture camp. We're going to be sending out reminders on Remind and on Facebook, so that way everybody is informed about these things. We're also going to be calling out and reaching out because we need to have all of our new students tested to see if we need to provide any supplemental reading programs for them. So for all of our returning students, we're going to have our virtual Meet the Teacher night is going to be Thursday, August 6th from 4:30 to 5:30. So please make plans to attend. So you're going to have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about teachers in college prep. Information and more flyers are going to go out on Facebook and Remind, so that way we're ensuring that we communicate that date. So Thursday, August 6th, 4:30 to 5:30. So I know many of you have heard, so we're going online for the first few weeks of school. We're going to be following local guidelines to keep our students and staff members safe. That's why we're following online. More to come when we get a little bit closer on if we're going to do any in-person learning. So that's going to be a couple weeks before we get any more information on what that could potentially look like for this school year. So keep watching our Facebook Live posts so that way you can be informed on that information. Everything that I go over on the Facebook Live is also going to be shared via Remind and on our Facebook page, so that way we're continuing to keep you updated on a variety of things. So what is distance learning going to look like for college prep this school year? So we're looking at homeroom and announcements to begin around 8:15, classes beginning promptly at 8:30, and finishing around 4 p.m. So that means students are going to be logging into Microsoft Teams so they can engage in live lessons, some pre-recorded lessons by their teachers. Students are going to have a little bit of longer classes this year, shorter office hours compared to last year, so that way we can ensure that teachers have enough time to provide instruction to the students, and students have practice time. So as of right now, all the work is going to be completed on Teams unless we don't receive technology before the first day of school. We're not going to be offering paper packets to our general education students. The only exception is if we don't receive complete technology before the first day of school, then we're going to offer some of the packets for our students that don't have access to technology. Students in 6th through 8th grade are going to be following a similar schedule and attend all of their classes daily, with few exceptions that involve our students participating in direct instruction. 9th grade students, they're going to see their core teachers daily, and elective teachers will be rotated every other day. So students are expected to complete their work and submit all of their work through Teams for the time being right now. So an update, we do have summer reading projects that were sent out, communicated through Facebook, communicated through Remind. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us, and we will be happy to guide you in the right direction for the summer reading. There's basically the book that the students need to read, and they're going to be able to pick between a variety of projects. There's 4 different projects, and they're going to have to complete one of those projects listed. So parents and staff and students, I wanted to highlight 2 of our students for their exceptional work. So Nicholas Sanchez and Samantha Loera for working multiple AR tests this summer. So shout out to those students. Thank you for working hard and reading and testing on AR this summer. So I really want to thank all of our parents for everything that you do in supporting your child in their education. As a staff, we look forward to seeing our students' smiling faces virtually at the beginning of school year, and then we'll see how that goes to see if we're going to be able to offer in-person schooling this school year. We're just waiting on information from local and state guidelines to see what we need to do there to get that set up. But right now we're going, just like I mentioned, a virtual for the time being, and we'll give you updates on whenever that could change in the possible future. Alright, so I have questions. How can I get the Remind codes? I'm new. So I will have one of our members write your information down, so that way we can send you the updated Remind codes, so that way you're contacted by one of our grade teams on that. Let's see, the polo for 9th grade, yes, they do wear green. Awesome. So I'm gonna keep it open to if there's any questions. I've gone over the information very quickly. It was just a couple of updates that I had for college prep. Yeah, so to go along with the uniforms. So just like Mr. Chipras mentioned, so students are gonna, working virtually, are still gonna have to wear their uniform tops like I am wearing right here. So my representing Tres Lagos, but they don't have to be in full uniform as they're working virtually. I don't see any questions anymore in the chat. Okay. So how will we get the code for Teams? Yes, so for Teams, all of our students, when they receive the technology, all of that will be set up for them, and they just go in and log in. We will be communicating those codes to our students. And then the Remind codes. Yeah, so we'll make sure that we send out all of that information, and then that way, and we'll follow up with everybody's name here that is requesting those Remind codes to ensure that we get all that information out to everybody. Yeah, so the idea shirt, so the uniform, so what we're having is when they're doing distance learning, they only need to wear the uniform top. They don't need to be dressed in full uniform throughout the day. So they'll be wearing their grade level appropriate polo shirt. Let's see. I don't see any more questions, but if I did miss a question, I'll make sure that our staff goes through the questions here and answers them for you. Let's see. Okay, I see another one about a question about AR. To my understanding, they're going to keep the same information. I will double check on that just to ensure if that is still the case. So when do we get their Chromebooks? So as soon as we get the information in as far as all the shipment, and then we're going to be sending out communications on when they're going to be able to pick up their laptops or Chromebooks. So as soon as that is ready, we will communicate a date to pick it up. We're looking at the week before school as being a time when we will start having parents come pick up technology. So for the summer reading, there's information there about when it's due. We are going to have a slight grace period for our students, so that way they can get all the information, get their projects completed. I believe it's the 2 to 3 week grace period for those summer reading projects. But if you need any assistance on books and things like that, please reach out to our staff, and they'd be more than happy to help you on that. I see a question for supplies for students. So we did send out some information through Remind and through Facebook on our supplies. So since we're starting distance learning, we're just going to need, students are just going to need their basic supplies as far as paper, pen, pencil, so that way they can take adequate notes. Most of their work is going to be done through Teams, and they're going to be turning in all of their assignments through Teams and online. So the minimal amount of supplies will be needed for home, but we will continue to send out information on that as far as our suggested supply list. When we do come back to school, students will not be sharing supplies, so when students do come back to school, they would need to have their own supplies. So if you're using your own desktop to need to buy webs, I assume that means like the software. So we should be able to download Microsoft Teams webcams. Okay. If your computer does not already have one of those built-in cameras, then I believe we may need to do that. The good thing is our campus, we are going to provide one-on-one technology. So if your personal technology does not fit that specification, you will have access to a computer. Every student will have access to one of our computers. All right, I'm going to stay on to see if there's any more questions before I jump off, and Mr. Chipaz will have this in Spanish. All right, thank you parents for joining us today. Sorry for the delay and the technical issues I had earlier. We look forward to seeing each and every one of our students virtually on the first day of school. Please reach out via Remind or the campus if you have any specific questions that we didn't get answered. We're more than happy to help you out. Thank you, parents.